Hi, I'm wondering what this fee on my account is.
I can't really talk about that.
Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 things that used to be free.
The airlines make a ton of money, there's no doubt. And unfortunately, they're charging for something that I don't think should be charged for.
For this list, we'll be looking at the most mundane products and services that were once free of charge, but now come with a price tag. Which of these have you never paid a dime for? Let us know in the comments. Number 10. Food delivery. Once upon a time, many food outlets were known to deliver orders directly to customers at no extra cost. In fact, a lot of pizza stores had free delivery as their watchword for a long time. Needless to say, that is no longer the case. With the rise of third-party delivery services like Uber Eats and Postmates, consumers have found themselves having to pay extra for the convenience of having their meals brought right to their doorstep.
There's a processing fee, there's a dispatch fee, I don't know, it seems like there's a new fee every day.
And if you thought this fee was going to the delivery person, then think again. In addition to having to fork over the extra charge, you still have to tip the driver.
Keep the change, you filthy animal.
Cheapskate.
Number 9. Twitter verification badge. In October 2022, months after he first announced it on the platform, business magnate Elon Musk acquired Twitter and became its CEO.
In a statement released by the company, Mr. Musk said, "Free speech is the bedrock of a functioning democracy, and Twitter is the digital town square where matters vital to the future of humanity are debated."
This takeover brought with it several changes to the social media site, most notably the introduction of a paid subscription service. Referred to as Twitter Blue, this program placed an $8 price tag on the app's verification badge. Up until that point, the popular blue checks were used to identify public figures for free, and it becomes some sort of status symbol.
The big complaint, and it's interesting that Elon Musk describes himself now as the complaint hotline operator for Twitter. Lots of people complaining about this, thinking that they don't have to spend $8 a month just to get that tick when they've so far managed to get it for nothing.
Since its implementation, the company has faced criticism from many who claim that it will only make it easier for people to impersonate others and spread false information.
There are some people who got to keep theirs without paying because Elon Musk is paying for them. He says he's personally coughing up the $8 to get those blue check marks back for a select few, including LeBron James, William Shatner, Stephen King.
Number 8. School sports. Engaging in school athletics has technically never been absolutely free. Back in the day, your parents would probably have to shell out a few bucks to buy the necessary gear for the sport.
According to LendingTree, 59% of parents whose children play a fall sport say the cost of equipment, travel, and team fees can cause financial strain for their family.
But it turns out these days, parents have an additional cost to think about when it comes to school sports, and that is the participation or pay-to-play fee.
The last thing we want to do is exclude any kid from participating because they can't afford a pay-to-participate fee or their family can't afford it.
Depending on the school and the sport being considered, these charges could range anywhere from $75 up to almost $1,000.
While money is a big issue, even more costly can be injuries.
So we're here?
More than 1.3 million kids went to the emergency room last year because of sports injuries.
Under these circumstances, participation in school sports has been on a steady decline, with a significant number of parents blaming the fees for the decreased engagement.
I had a mother come up with her, she had five kids in the school system, and she says, I can't afford this. My kids are all athletic, and I'm going to take them to a district where it doesn't cost anything.
Number 7. Online newspapers. We've all had the experience of clicking on a news article online only to be hit hard in the face by a paywall.
I find it annoying when I go to, if I find an interesting story online and I click, oh, let me read about that, and they say, oh, you need to pay for this. I'm like, well, I'm really not that interested in the story. I can probably find that same exact story on another website.
While this can be frustrating, some of us may remember a time when it never really happened. Back when the internet was still in its infancy, many online newspapers provided their content to users for free. But as the landscape of electronic publishing evolved over time, several publications underwent a dramatic shift from free access to paid subscriptions.
And there the logic is, if you don't pay us, we won't show you articles above a certain threshold. But everybody below that threshold isn't even asked to pay. The practical effect of that is that well over 90% of the New York Times and LA Times audience doesn't pay, but still sees the content.
Regardless, there are still a lot of newspapers that allow users to read their content at no cost, and a good number of the paid ones even permit a few free articles per month.
But we found that if you invest in good quality journalism and you invest in the tools that help that journalism reach that audience, then people are prepared to pay for it.
Is there a danger, though, that if you put too much content behind a paywall, you maybe alienate new readers?
Number 6. Hotel amenities. It once was the case that when you paid for a hotel room, you got all of the added amenities at no extra charge. But these days, hotels now tack on what they refer to as resort fees for services used during your stay.
If you even make a phone call on that in-room phone, if it's local, say you want to, call to make restaurant reservations, do not do it. You could be charged a surcharge.
These include things like Wi-Fi, swimming pools, gyms, and even very basic amenities like shampoo and towels.
Always ask what that fee includes. Many places offer freebies like food and drink.
Sometimes, the hotels find deceptive ways to hide these charges, only revealing them to the customer at checkout.
2 aspirin, $2. Suit pressed, $18. 16 cubic meters of argon, $65.
Okay, I'm sorry, what was that last thing?
Argon, sir. It's a noble gas.
I didn't get any argon at all.
It's a colorless, odorless gas, sir. How can you be entirely sure?
It's gotten so bad that in 2012, the Federal Trade Commission had to issue a direct warning to nearly 24 hotel chains, condemning the practice.
Consumer advocates call it false advertising.
You're stuck. They're mandatory. And the bad thing about this is that they don't tell you this up front.
They, however, don't seem to have heeded that warning. Number 5, directory assistance.
Have you ever considered that maybe Maris is a bit high-strung? Maybe she should see someone?
She's seen everyone. Why do you think she was calling directory assistance?
In the past, when landline telephones were the primary means of communication, you could just pick up the phone and find a number or address for free. In the United States and Canada, this local directory assistance was provided by calling 411 without a charge.
Please say the name again.
Furniture World.
You do not speak properly. Please hold for 80 minutes.
Over time, telephone companies gradually transitioned from unlimited free calls to only a few per month until they began charging a fee for every call placed. These days, ringing up 411 will set you back a couple of bucks.
Too expensive, and I don't use it unless I really, really have to. I think twice.
Although an ad-sponsored toll-free directory assistance was subsequently made available by certain companies, they all eventually scrapped the service in 2020. Number 4, tire air pumps. For the longest time, gas stations have served as a one-stop solution for everything from fuel, snacks, to car maintenance. Years back, you could get a free tire air pump as a complimentary service after buying fuel at a gas station. In certain states of the US like Connecticut and California, this service is still available to use for free. But most other places will charge you anywhere from 25 cents to $1.50 just to fill up your tires. Gas stations have cited the cost of maintaining and operating the inflation devices as a reason for transitioning from free to paid. When they said air is free, they apparently only meant the one you breathe. Number 3, banking services. It can be particularly frustrating having to pay a fee to access the money in your bank account. Although that is the sad reality for almost everyone today, things weren't always that way. There was a time when banks didn't charge you to use the ATM or open a checking account. But as the years have gone by, certain regulatory bills by the government have resulted in lower interest rates and poor revenue for banks.
We're seeing little niggling and nickel and diming, as they call it, bits and pieces here and there. And you can tell that they're trying to make money from the retail customer, but they're not all doing it in the same way.
This in turn prompted them to reassess their fee structures and introduce charges for certain previously free services.
Now, here's another example. This bank statement is for a custodial savings account for the son of a colleague. At the start of the quarter, it had $192 in it. But as you can see, there was a string of withdrawals made by Chase Bank.
As a result, checking accounts now come with maintenance and overdraft fees, and you should expect to cough up a charge if you intend to use an out-of-network ATM.
Isn't that my money?
This is mine.
What?
It's my fee pile, non-ATM fee.
That makes no sense.
Oh, customer service issue. That's a fee.
Number 2, flight extras. It is true that, adjusted for inflation, flight ticket prices have significantly reduced between the 1960s and now. Although many factors are responsible for this reduction, it seems many airlines have just broken down the costs and made them some of the customers' responsibilities. In the early days of aviation, it was normal for passengers to receive many perks, such as free checked baggage, in-flight meals, and unlimited beverages at no added cost.
What the airlines failed to mention were all those pesky government taxes and fees.
However, With time, carriers began to implement fees for some of these once complimentary services.
Ask yourself, what could they possibly be charging me? Baggage is the most obvious, even carry-on baggage, a seat assignment, early boarding.
These days, you pay more for the convenience of bigger legroom and even choosing your own seat. While these changes may seem small individually, they can easily add up to a massive total.
These ancillary fees, industry-wide, have started to represent the lion's share of the industry profitability.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Television. Back in the day, it was the norm for families to convene around the TV as the only source of entertainment. This was because pretty much everyone relied on traditional over-the-air broadcasting, where channels were financed with advertising money and available to viewers for free.
If cable could help more people see programming, broadcasters could charge advertisers more money.
However, with the advent of cable and satellite television, many households were presented with a wider array of options for a subscription fee.
This left Americans with high bills and confusing bundle options.
This changed the landscape of television, and although the local channels remained free, a lot of people opted to pay the price for cable. With streaming now taking over the industry and most young consumers veering away from traditional broadcasting, it seems the concept of free TV may soon entirely be a thing of the past.
For all of the liberation that streaming seemed to give us from the ancient regime of cable, it's starting to look an awful lot like cable.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.